Good morning or good night to anybody from anywhere. Welcome to Zelda Speedruns at night. We're gonna have a Group J tournament match, Tubamann versus Skylect, which is about to begin. I'm gonna give it off to your commentators, Original Elijah and Woofer CFG, your favorite commentators, of course, and we'll get ready to start.
Hello, everyone.
I think it's funny that we always say like group and then a letter as if anyone knows what those letters are.
True.
This is actually the last match of this group, so after this one, if Tuba wins, then he will be first place and Dean will get second. If Sky wins, then I think they go on to a three-way tiebreaker.
That would be pretty crazy, actually, if that happened. Because then we'd have two different groups with three-way tiebreakers.
Yeah, and there could be more.
True.
Keep them coming.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like those races, at least the one that we have right now, is going to be super hype. Super hype. But for now, at least talking about this race, some of the interesting things we have at the beginning. No DRC, no Tower of the Gods, so if you like those dungeons, sorry, you don't get to see those today.
There's a lot of items that are accessible from the very start, so the seed will actually be pretty straightforward. Bombs and Leaf are both available on Windfall. Hookshot is on Beetle's Shopship, the 20 rupee item. And the grappling hook, even though that's locked behind the 5 Tingle statues, all of those Tingle statues are accessible from the start of the game. So all of these items will just be obtained early on, and that will give the runners a lot of freedom to do things in whatever order they want.
Right. The dungeons are kind of a little funnier, I suppose, because some of them are sort of like locked behind each other in a way, I guess. For lack of a better way to describe that. Some of the, I guess mostly Wind Temple, right? Wind Temple kind of has what you need for Earth Temple and...
Yeah, so Wind Temple has the power bracelets and the delivery bag, which will block Earth Temple since you need the power bracelets to defeat Jalhalla, and then the delivery bag eventually leads to Skullhammer, which is required for Forsaken Fortress.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll also likely want to go to Forbidden Woods before going to Earth Temple, because Forbidden Woods has one of the bow upgrades,
Mm-hmm.
and the runners will want light arrows to defeat Jalhalla, since the Mirror Shield will likely be skippable in that case. But we'll see what the runners do with that.
Yeah, that's true. There's a couple ways you could go about this if you didn't want to get Mirror Shield or a few other items like that. It's definitely possible and doable. You'd have to do some pretty interesting stuff to skip the Mirror Shield, and I'm kind of hoping that we see it, but it's hard to say. It depends on how safe or how risky the runners want to route their seats. And I think on that note, we're pretty much ready to get started here. Yep.
Cool file name.
Yeah. Oh, man. Pretty nice. And...
Okay, so I think both runners are going to go into Cliff Plateau, which we talked a little bit about before this restream started.
Mm-hmm.
Cliff Plateau leads to Ice Ring, which has Ferora's Pearl. The pearls are not required, but that specific pearl is going to lead to a letter that gives you Boomerang, and that's just going to make Forbidden Woods easier.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of those cases where the random starting island actually matters, and you may as well just get this check because it's so fast.
Right. When you think about, too, I mean, normally you think about Ice Ring when you're playing the regular randomizer. You know, you have to have the fire and ice arrows to get here. But at the beginning, you don't actually need any items to complete the puzzle in the cave. So if you can get in here, you can just grab the item here, especially if it's something good. It's just weird to think about. Normally when you play like even if you play the vanilla game, this island is so late, you're so used to having all kinds of items here, but as we just saw, you don't need any to do it even the vanilla way. Tuba's not going to hesitate at all to get his mail here for the boomerang.
So the boomerang does make things interesting because it makes it easier to get to that chest in the locked tree trunk in Forbidden Woods. That has a Picto box in it, and that's going to eventually lead to the Mirror Shield. So I wonder if both of these runners are just going to choose to get the Mirror Shield just based on the fact that they have the boomerang. Not totally sure yet.
True. It's definitely an option. We're going to see Skylect here is going to opt to grab the mother-child chest for the Tingle statue there. Was kind of curious about if either of the runners would elect to just save that for when they, if they want to use that for like the super swim to go into Helmrock, but obviously Skylect does not want to do it that way.
So I actually think that would probably work because Forsaken Fortress, Earth Temple is something that you can save for very late. And the grappling hook only leads to one of the bow upgrades as far as I know.
Yeah, Tuba's going to be doing, I'm guessing this, some sort of door cancel strat here. Maybe Lenzo to get the Earth God's Lyric, or maybe he wants, yeah, it looks like Lenzo's. I'm going to say maybe he had another idea of an island he wanted to get into with door cancel.
So this Lenzo door cancel will lead to the Earth God's Lyric. It does not give him the Mirror Shield because the Mirror Shield actually requires the Picto box. But this makes Earth Temple more doable.
Right, yeah. It makes you definitely a much safer strat and a lot easier, a lot less nerve-wracking maybe, depending on how comfortable you are with skipping Earth God's Lyric with if you don't have Mirror Shield. And we see Skylect is going to be collecting some more of those Tingle statues and things on Outset Island.
There's 2 Picto boxes in this seed, just as any seed. One of them is Chest and Locked Tree Trunk in Forbidden Woods, which is one of the chests in the basement. The other one is Stelphos Crypt Room in Earth Temple. The Stelphos Crypt Picto box is not viable at all unless you want to double dip Earth Temple because a Picto box is required for Pompey and Vera, which has the Mirror Shield.
Yeah, so that Picto box is pretty much a no-go, probably for almost any reason that I could think of. Tuba getting bombs as Skylect continuing to just amass those Tingle statues. That is kind of the one thing I was thinking about the seed. The beginning I figured would be end up being kind of boring because it's a lot of just these sort of like, maybe boring isn't the right word, but just a lot of these sort of like overworld checks, and they're kind of, you just kind of hopping around randomly grabbing all these the good items that we kind of all want to have.
Yeah, I think this is going to be one of those seeds where we just see overworld for 30 minutes and then a huge dungeon rush to end it.
Yeah, that would make sense. And if my memory serves correctly, this the Wind Shrine also has another or a sword, right? Yeah.
Yep.
The double damage for Skylect. It's a nice thing about getting your first Master Sword. The other ones don't.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
I think we're going to say the same thing. You go ahead, though.
The other 2 sword upgrades won't give you any more damage increases, so only the first one really matters, but you do need all 3 of those upgrades to actually complete the game.
Yeah, so, and that actually makes it kind of neat because you want to try and get one sword like as soon as possible, and then the other ones you can sort of just get them whenever it's convenient. So it definitely gives the opportunities for really cool routing. I suppose maybe as soon as possible isn't the exact way I wanted to say that, but like as soon as you would need it. Like if you're going into a difficult dungeon with stronger enemies, if you can get a sword before that, it's going to be super helpful.
So Tot is gonna have the Deku Leaf. That's another item that will just be super useful. May as well get it super early on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I know I say this every time we do this, but I always focus my routing around what's the quickest way to get the Deku Leaf, because it's so useful. It makes everything else like so much faster.
I do think it's interesting that the runners are, or at least Skylect is choosing to rush the Tingle statues at the very start. They are all accessible early on, but with the grappling hook only leading to a bow upgrade, you only really need that bow, the third bow upgrade for Jalhala with the light arrows, and pretty much nothing else. So there's definitely an argument to be made to like putting these off until way later and trying to route them in. But I guess it just it simplifies the route a lot if you don't worry about it.
Yeah, true. I'm thinking Tuba, from what we're seeing at least so far, it looks like Tubamann is going to be doing kind of the first thing, or the other thing you said, where he's just sort of going to get those Tingle statues just whenever he gets them. Sort of just along the way while doing all the other stuff he has to do.
This Northern Ferry?
It appears so.
So that's just going to lead to a Triforce Shard. You can get this whenever, but may as well just go right after Windfall. Not really going to be a better time, probably.
Yeah, that's kind of the interesting thing about Northern Ferry. Every once in a while you get something to where maybe you're on like the Gale Island, or you have to go to Star Island for a random entrance, and then it's, you know, maybe you want to do it while you're there. But for the most part, doing it right after Windfall is, it's just in kind of a weird spot. There's no other places that are much closer to it, so.
Yeah, Pogi, I agree that the Milo statue could have been routed with Picto, and it's possible that Tuba will end up doing something like that, just based on the fact that he only has one Tingle statue right now.
Yeah. The big question is going to be who decides to get, or if anyone even decides to get the Mirror Shield. Because it's definitely not required.
I'd say at this point, I would hope that Tuba wouldn't get it because he has Earth God's Lyric. And with the Mirror Shield, the Earth God's Lyric is basically obsolete.
True. Yeah, I'm inclined to agree there. My guess would also be that Tuba is just going to not bother with the Mirror Shield. Tuba wants his sword now.
You know that Mesa, the grass cutter check? I feel like every single time people do it, they clip into that house. I want to see at least one runner route that in later, where you just let time pass naturally and you just save time.
Oh, you just happen to show up at nighttime?
Yeah.
Would definitely be convenient.
I know that's I've had 2021.
Hey, those few seconds, we've seen races be that close to 4, you never know. Because I guess in this one too, it doesn't matter as much because you're not probably going to even take any other trips to onto Outset Island, because the only thing here are these 2 Tingle statues in both of these houses, or I guess the ones under the house, but you know.
So what Tuba might do here is clean up these Tingle statues and then just go to Horseshoe, which leads to Forbidden Woods. Because you want Forbidden Woods as an early dungeon.
True. With Leaf, Bombs, and Boomerang, there's nothing in Forbidden Woods you cannot collect.
Yeah. And that will also give him another sword upgrade in that dungeon, as well as a Picto box and a bow. Well, assuming he goes for the Picto box. I guess you have to... Do you have to get that one? Oh wait, no, because you... Only if you want the Mirror Shield. So hopefully Tube actually skips that. But we're kind of getting ahead of ourselves at this point.
That's true. It's kind of tricky with these, because now it's sort of just like the crisscross, right? You know, Tuba doing the overworld checks that Skylect's already done, and Skylect doing the ones that Tuba's already done. So we're only a few minutes away from seeing if these routes are going to converge or sort of diverge again and go in other directions.
Well, if Tuba doesn't do Forbidden Woods here, I have no idea why he went to Outset. That's all I'm asking.
True. I think that's definitely the play.
Now we here as well for the hook shot.
Yeah, smart play. Also, get all this done all at the same time. The one place everybody knew before like a week and a half ago or whenever that was. The one place we all knew we could get the 20 rupee item. It's gonna be interesting to see if Tuba grabs the small key in Forbidden Woods, or either of the runners, I guess I should say. I mostly was just thinking Tuba because it does look like that's where he's going now, to Forbidden Woods. Because we do have to go into, I think it's the mini boss, right?
Yeah.
Mini boss has Note to Mom, which is required, so you either have to collect the small key or do the small key skip.
Small key skip should be faster for sure.
Yeah, I think so.
So this is a very good route decision. Salvage Core is something that's available at Horseshoe, Eastern Triangle, and Pauperant. So Tuba, rather than getting Salvage Core earlier, sailing from Windfall or something, instead decides to just grab it right here at the same time as Forbidden Woods, which is a good display of game knowledge.
Yeah, very smart play. We're gonna see the leaf skip while having
Despite
leaf.
having leaf on the Y button right here.
Yeah. Only for the first one though. We'll see about the third one. Definitely looks like not. See, I've started ever since like the leafless strats were sort of like shown off. I've always kind of started doing it that way, just because one, I don't know if it's a whole lot faster, but sometimes those like the seeds or whatever they are, I don't even know what they are, just don't seem to go the way I want them to. So I'm gonna talk
Yeah, I
to
think
the
at this
telescope
point
guy.
the setups for the bomb boost or the damage boost are probably more consistent than the leaf stuff, just because
True.
of how much people have spent time on them.
True, and it's good practice too for if you ever needed to get in there one day without leaf.
So this kind of explains why the runner, or at least why Tuba decided to grab the boomerang,
Mhm.
because he does not have any of the bow upgrades yet.
Mhm.
The two bow upgrades are, besides the one that's in Forbidden Woods, are on Paw Print and on the rupee chest, or the wallet letter, sorry. I can't talk.
Mhm.
So the two wallets are in Islet of Steel and in Cliff Plateau. And basically, the gist of the matter is that they're sort of out of the way, and I think what Tuba just thought is, may as well grab the boomerang, spend like 30 seconds on it, and then that'll make a lot of the routing come together later, without having to force a bow upgrade early into the route.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Sometimes you have to take like a sort of like almost like take a hit early in the route, doing something you might not want to do or that you don't have to do, but it's because it's going to save you time later on.
Also, Tuba didn't store a chest yet, right?
I think he stored that hole in tree
Oh,
chest.
just kidding, I'm not paying attention. Imagine watching streams while commentating. Yeah, I'm
Luckily
actually
you
just
have a-
browsing Twitter right now.
Luckily, you have that handy-dandy spoiler log to give you things to continue to talk about. Even if you aren't seeing what anybody's doing.
Yeah, I think Tube is on Sphere 3. Oh, better let Pogi know to start watching the stream again.
Oh man, we'll have to see if Tuba. I know this is going to end up being sort of more of like a meme thing from the Pogi's race from earlier today, or not earlier today, but his earlier in the tournament of using Boomerang on Mulgera and then putting that he hates Tuba on his stream for the restream to see. So I'm wondering if Tuba has something planned for us as a response.
I'm sure Tube is just gonna do it. Honestly, that makes Boomerang worth getting in itself. If you see Wind Temple.
True. Time save. It's like, from what I understand, a few frames. Also, Skylect at the boating course here. I actually can't remember what's here.
Boating course is Cliff Plateau.
Okay, gotcha. So that's
Plateau
gonna
has wallet and iron boots.
Okay, so yeah, we definitely need at least well, you need at least one of the wallets, like you were saying before. So
This one seems like the most logical one to get. Iron boots are something that's required to beat the game, so you may as well just go here. And then that wallet's gonna lead to a bow upgrade, as we said before.
Yep. And we saw Tuba do that, like we were saying, that small key skip mentioned before. Heading back to the beginning of the dungeon after collecting his, note to Mom, and going to continue on into Forbidden Woods. I'm guessing we're going to be heading to the sword, maybe on the right side. He hasn't done that one yet. In the vine maze.
Yeah, seems like it. That note to Mom is something where we won't get the payoff for a while because it requires the delivery bag to actually mail, but eventually the letter from Bido's mother is going to be the skull hammer.
Yep, and we're going to need that to fight that giant bird that everyone loves so much. I'm
I don't know
wondering
what
too.
bird you're talking about. Is there a bird in the game?
There's maybe I'm thinking of a different game now. Actually,
I guess there's
It's not-
bats.
bats are kind of like birds, right? They have
I think
wings.
so. I think they count.
Okay, cool. I knew. I knew I was thinking kind of on the right train of thought there. I was sitting here thinking, I was almost going to say, I wonder if Chu was going to use the door storage strat to get into the basement. I was like, oh wait, he knocked down, or he, cut down the flower, so doesn't have to do any of those crazy strats we like to do.
Now the question is, why is he going here?
Yeah. Well, there's the big key chest, right? Has a bow. That would be
interesting. Okay. I forgot that was a thing.
Oh, it's okay. Tuba getting that bomb push there first try, that was really pog.
So yeah, I guess that justifies the boomerang even more. I didn't realize that you needed to go to the basement even if you're skipping the mirror shield. So it does seem like he's just gonna accept just having Earth God's Lyric for Earth Temple and only take the bow upgrade from here.
Seems like it.
Which I really like that route.
Yeah, because taking another trip back to Windfall, although I suppose you do have to go there anyway, but going through the whole Lenzo stuff to get the Pompeii Vera just for Mirror Shield when you don't really even need it, just seems like not the best play. At least if you're going for speed, which is, I guess, generally the point in a race type setting.
Sky right now is on Tingle Island, so he just got a bow, and he's also going to be able to get a grappling hook from Ankle for having those 5 Tingle statues.
And a pretty decent chunk of change too, right? 250 rupees, I think. Something like that. Not that those will be useful for anything, but it gets us ever closer to one of those magic numbers. Tuba
It does
going
seem
to.
like Tuba is going to completely skip Picto Box, yeah.
Mhm. Right now, Tuba's doing a cool strat where you use a bomb to like push yourself off a chest. Pretty neat. A little tricky though, having some trouble with that bomb. I didn't want to push back. Oh, there we go. Oh, but not quite. Last couple of days I've been doing those bomb drops a lot just to try and get more consistent at them. Such a useful strat. Kind of like we were talking earlier, Leaf is one of the most useful items in the game. Bombs are right up there with them because you can do things like that and just store the chest and skip that big key.
Yeah, for sure. And Leaf and Bombs are items that are actually... They don't provide like hard requirements for many locations, but they're just so useful in many different places that you want to prioritize them early in pretty much every seed.
Yeah, absolutely. Just because, like you said, they can speed up so much other stuff. It's like... Another thing too is technically with the right dungeon order, I know we've said this before, but with the right dungeons you would be able to skip those items. They're not required in like the Hyrule area to be able to finish the game. So if you can get down there, if you can get all the items you need to beat Ganon without using the leaf or bombs, you could potentially complete the game without it.
Looks like we're gonna see Sky now go to Forbidden Woods.
Nice. Guy's going to have the boomerang in there and the grapple hook, differing from Tuba. But not really a whole lot of the stuff we need in there. Those items are going to help with very much.
Well, grappling hook can help if you don't want to do some of the skips. Obviously, it's like a really minimal gain, but it is slightly safer.
True. That is true. Of course, the bow obviously sort of being negated by the having the boomerang, which is just generally a little bit better in the settings of Forbidden Woods, just because it doesn't the boomerang doesn't have ammunition, unlimited uses.
Tuba is now gonna go to Boating Course, which is gonna lead to Cliff Plateau. That's something that Sky already did, and that will give Tuba that wallet and iron boots. So soon Tuba is actually gonna have 2 bow upgrades, and that's interesting because it will give him access to Wind Temple. Now, Wind Temple is of course that dungeon that sort of blocks Earth Temple and Forsaken Fortress because of the delivery bag and power bracelets. So I think soon we'll see this stuff open up a little bit. Tuba will be able to basically just do the remaining dungeons.
Yeah, because I mean, we know where the grapple hook is. We saw Sky get it, but Tuba doesn't need that in Wind Temple, just like he didn't really need it in Forbidden Woods. So, potential here for him to just go there next and finish that. Finish the ankle side quest sort of later on to get the grapple, just for getting into Earth Temple and getting the light arrows, or the last bow, obviously.
Kind of surprised Tuba didn't do chest storage here. Slight time loss, but doesn't really matter too much with the leaf and the bombs.
Yeah. Yeah, the only other thing that could have made that potentially faster is just if you had the fire and ice arrows to shoot the boards. And it looks like Skylect going for a chest storage strat here. Possibly not planning on skipping the small key. Because I don't think this chest has anything that we need. I think it's just one of the pearls, right? Yes, that looks right. So Skylect, I think, wanting the small key.
Is this actually worth it to store that chest just to get to the top? I feel like this chest storage would only be valuable if you needed to get the bottom chest as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure. If it is faster, like maybe done like perfectly, if it is faster, it can't be by a whole lot. If like at max, it'd be what, just a few seconds. And that's assuming you do it like optimally, where.
Well, there is something on top, but not on the bottom. Oh yeah, it is better to store the first chest. Yeah, okay. I remember people doing that now. That makes a lot more sense.
You know what the funny thing is? I think I've actually even done that. I didn't even think about it.
Did Sky actually get all the pearls?
I didn't see if Sky got the one in the first room. Wasn't. It looks like, according to the tracker. Then yes.
Oh, I guess just, Wait, why would Sky get the first chest? This doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, maybe the...
I'm gonna go check the VOD and then report back.
Maybe Skylect really, really, really wanted to be able to see Tower of the Gods from the outside.
Just to be clear, it leads to the Paw Pernal Wizrobe Cave, which not only has nothing, it's also one of the worst caves in the game.
We see Tuba did end up going to Wind Temple next.
Maybe Sky just forgot to store the first chest and instead opened it. It's the only thing I can think of. I can't imagine that this was an on-purpose play to get the pearls. I think they just happened to be in those two chests.
Yeah. that makes sense. I think maybe forgetting to get the storage and opening that chest instead of storing it. Something like that.
Tuba, meanwhile, is in Wind Temple, as we talked about. So this is gonna eventually lead to the power bracelets and one of the bow upgrades and the skull hammer. Or I guess the last bow upgrade is just behind Tingle statue, so never mind. Kind of.
Yeah. Sort of indirectly.
Yeah.
Unless you want to use that new paw print Choo Choo Cave grapple hook skip.
So yeah, for Tuba at this point, he is going to get Skull Hammer and Power Bracelet soon, which will mostly open up Earth Temple and Forsaken Fortress. And he's also going to get the last two Tingle statues at some point, which is going to lead to Grappling Hook. And the Grappling Hook will lead to Light Arrows. And then those Light Arrows are going to be used to defeat Jelhala. And then that's pretty much just go mode at that point. Obviously, you need to clean up the rest of the shards, which seems like there's several in Wind Temple 3, as far as I can tell.
Yes. 3, including the boss one.
And then 2 on Earth Temple.
And 1 on Helmrock, and that would be all 8 for Tuba.
Yeah.
So, my guess would be, if I was to guess, Tuba will after this probably will collect the Skull Hammer. I would imagine the play would be to do the Super Swim to Helmarock from Mother Child to get that Tingle statue. I'm not sure which of the other Tingle statues that Tuba's missing, because it looks like he only has 3 right now. But then at that point, that's where you probably get the last Tingle statue either before or after Forsaken Fortress, after you collect the Skull Hammer, and then Mila. Okay, so you probably do all that, and then you get the grapple hook before. I'm not sure the exact order, but you get the grapple hook, and because Earth Temple is on Bird's Peak Rock, and the grapple hook is the most convenient way to really get in there.
I don't think he's missing Mesa because he went to outside already.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's just the Mother and Child one and the Mila one.
Yeah. He also will need to do Creep to get the last sword upgrade, so that can happen at the same time on that Windfall trip.
Yeah, that's really smart. That's a really good routing. You can pretty much do all the creep stuff while you're waiting for Mila to run around the island and do nothing.
Yeah, and I'm sure that's exactly what he's thinking. And it seems like this route is just gonna come together really well.
Mm-hmm. We see some immobilization on Skylect's side.
Check the race time chat. What's happening? Nothing.
Must have been some sort of distraction or something. Maybe. Sometimes, the at-home personal life things can get in the way. Maybe something fell off your desk or something. Who knows?
See a P-hat in game and be like, that's a bug. Need to kill it. But then you realize it's actually in the game. And then you're safe. I hope you don't say you've had that happen. That would be way too weird.
No, what I was going to say was that I have had it happen where I was doing like a race and I had like a spider show up and like come down in front of my monitor while I was streaming the race, and I freaked out.
Didn't you have crickets outside of your room for like a week straight? I
Yeah,
feel like that counts.
That was really annoying. Do you know how much I slept that week?
2 hours.
It was like a negative number. It was actually probably like 2 hours, yeah. It was horrible. It was so loud. I went out and I bought like a shit ton of like insecticide and sprayed all over the outside of my house, everywhere, the entire yard, all of it.
Tuba with the snipes on the Wizrobes, you love to see it. Ooh.
It's so satisfying when you can like combo them like that. Because the real goal here is you want to try and hit the Wizrobe at least for some damage before it can spawn in additional enemies. Because then you just sort of get into this cycle. It's terrible.
Yeah, but you also don't want to let it just keep spawning. What Tuba did was basically a stun lock, which is hard to pull off. Alternatively, with the fire and ice arrows, you can just freeze the Wizrobe and then use a fire arrow to destroy it instantly. But that does waste magic and isn't necessarily faster.
Yeah. Yeah, the stun locking is definitely the play. Because like you said, you want to minimize the amount of times the Wizrobe respawns in, and while also trying to at least hit it for some sort of damage as fast as possible to avoid spawning of other enemies. So there's definitely a balance to it. Because if you can help it, you don't want to just hit it once with one arrow and then, walk around. Where's it going to respawn at now? That would be wasting time, which we don't like to do.
Tuba's gonna get a small key here. Really convenient spot.
Very, very nice. And it looks like we're going to be doing some more. Oh, wait. The big key's right there. I thought he was going to store it for a second, but it's the big key. It was a tease.
Has Tuba already gotten the Cyclones room?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay.
I think. I'm pretty sure. It's so interesting to see the different ways that different runners and players do these breaking these the floors, because everybody has sort of their own like side hops and backflips sort of things that they do, flipping directions.
I just want to say that I found that bomb boost strat, and before the strat was either to destroy the panel and fall down, or to try to do a jump slash, and it sometimes would be a 0 frame window.
Okay. How do you do something in a 0 frame window?
You get lucky. I don't know. It was like some camera dependent thing where it sometimes wouldn't even work.
That's interesting. I'm pretty sure we actually saw somebody who was watching in season 3 can correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I'm pretty sure we saw Gymnast do it in one of the season 3 races and get it, which was pretty crazy.
It's pretty bold to go for.
I
guess
don't know
if you don't have bombs, it's fine.
That might have been it. He might have not had bombs, or maybe he just wanted to flex.
Yeah, I can see it. Look, those kinds of strats we like to call race-winning strats. If you do it, I secretly write down your name and you win the race, no matter how you actually end up doing.
Skylect is going for this Picto box here, it looks like. Interesting to see if they also go for the big key is in this room, so I feel like if you're coming in here, you may as well just grab the big key as well on the Tingle statue chest. It's so just unfortunate in Wind Temple. Anytime you have to do both the mini boss room and this kill all the enemies in this this room here. And also doing Stalfos without Skullhammer is not. Skylect having a little bit of trouble with this, with the setup here, I think.
Don't you need to move?
Yeah, you need to move slightly. I mean, I guess you don't have to, but I think it's generally...
No, I think he actually did move at the very end there. Just enough.
Just enough. Well, that's good. Now, can continue on. It looks like Skylect is going to grab that big key, so... Yeah, I've always found using that strat moving is just better.
Plus you get closer.
Or if you're going to get the chest. Yeah, true. If you're going to get the chest anyway, though, too, I mean, and you have bombs. Bombs isn't too bad.
Kind of surprising that Sky didn't route in fire and ice arrows here. Where were... Yeah, I guess big key chest would be the most viable one.
Yeah.
Although, didn't he already go to paw print?
I don't think so.
I don't know. I feel like it was doable to route in fire and ice arrows here.
Yeah, fire and ice arrows, I think, are the fastest way to get that chest, right?
Yeah. Well, boomerang's pretty fast, but not if you mess it up.
True. Tuba is teasing us with that, the boomerang. I don't know if you guys saw that, spamming the boomerang in the menu. Yeah, so we all know what's going to happen. We all know what's going to happen.
The Mulgara crash. Look, all these rando runners playing this game for only the last 2 years, y'all don't even know what it was like to have the game crash on Mulgara 3 hours into a speedrun. Now we have these spoiler log races that are over after an hour and there's no fear of crashing. We have it too easy. This game's just too good now.
Tuba is going to use the boomerang here. It's pretty incredible how good this game is now, though. I mean, there's no cutscenes except in, like, Tower of the Gods. Confirmed boomer.
I'm saying that kind of ironically because even though I played the game, I never got Mulgara Crash in the run. But I saw the pain on other runners.
Skylect going for vanilla strats. Big key
Does
chest.
Sky really not have hookshot right now?
It would
That's
appear
kind of
so.
weird. Maybe we'll see Morth Hover to skip the Beetle 20 rupee item.
Ooh. Well, we do have Mulgara, though, so. I was kind of hoping Tuba would put something on screen for you, Pogi, but
Hashtag boycott Beetle.
yeah. It's looking like Skylect going to be going for the finishing up in Forbidden Woods as Tuba finishes up Mulgara.
Where's Sky going?
I'm guessing, I think the boss is the only thing left here.
But what about, why not use the warp pot?
Oh, yeah, good point. Yeah, that's probably what I would have done. Very interesting. Perhaps it's RNG manipulation.
So Tuba at this point, I think he's going to do Windfall, and then Mother and Child, and then Forsaken Fortress. Because that will give that super clean route that we talked about.
Yep. Then my guess would be after that you do the you get the grapple hook, and then because the last tingle statue is going to be the one you store for the super swing. So you get the grapple hook, and you get the light arrows at paw print, and then you do Earth Temple. Or maybe you get the light arrows and then you get the grapple hook. And that order on there I don't really think matters a whole lot, but.
Yeah, I think the important thing is just doing Windfall now, doing Mother and Child with Forsaken Fortress, and then before Earth Temple, cleaning up all the overworld checks.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that that's actually a super, really cool and interesting route. Really cool to see Tuba recognizing, the grapple hook is something that, you technically could have, didn't have to get for this, but being that all the Tingle statues are so easy, and it's going to help you get into Earth Temple, and it's going to help you, obviously, in paw print, because the grapple skip in there is definitely not the most fast strat.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't expect anyone to actually go for the grapple skip in paw print anytime soon, if ever,
Yeah.
in this tournament.
Yeah, it's much better for if you don't know where the grapple hook is.
The thing that I like the most about Tuba's route, and that's something we talked about earlier in this race, is just putting off those Tingle statues until you actually need them, and combining that with the rest of the route. Even though they're Sphere Zero checks, that does not mean you need to just follow that order and get them at the start. And Tuba's basically reaping the benefits of combining them with everything else.
Yeah, I agree. It's really good routing. Just recognizing that grapple, the grapple, its usefulness comes late in the seed and not early. Ooh, that was kind of monk-ass there, but Tuba was able to pull it off. And there's our full Master Sword. Now we go and we make sure that Mila isn't Okay, perfect. Hopefully we haven't missed her. I don't think so, though. Didn't seem like it took that long. There she is. It's kind of one of these things where now I'm thinking on the end game once it comes around, thinking about potential interview question for Tuba, and it's not really, there's not really too many questions. It's just, wow, Tuba, your route was really good.
Well, I think the main thing I'm curious about is whether you really need Earth God's Lyric, or if you can just use the fire arrows to skip that.
That's true. Or do the strat we were talking about before, bringing Medley through to the room without Earth God's Lyric.
Yeah.
That was another potentially interesting one. It'll be interesting to see if Tuba thought about that or decided that Lenzo door cancel isn't too slow and having EGL makes it a lot safer. So that is definitely something. Ooh. I'm wondering if Tuba meant to do that.
Whoa, okay.
Our whole strategy, our whole thing we've been talking
The whole
about
route just...
blew up. Now none of it makes any sense. It doesn't make any sense anymore.
So you put off Mother and Child until Forsaken Fortress, and then you don't even do the chest storage? Oh no.
I gotta take back everything I said, Tuba. It's gonna be time to roast you when you get in here. Oh, he's got a new strat? I think Tuba's told me about this. Oh, he wants this arrow refill. He's been trying to do this for like ever, I think.
Hey, when you're 2-0 in the group stage and you have a chance to go 3-0, may as well have some swag at the very end.
Yeah. I'm in for it. I'm ready. Here we go.
Is this the strat? Because I've seen Gymnast do this.
It looks like this is the strat.
Look, Jar, it's fine if it's not much slower than the Super Swim, but there was no reason to put off Mother and Child if you weren't going to use it.
Yeah.
It feels like a slap in the face.
We thought we had it all figured out. Having trouble with the Super Swim anyways. It's Tuba trolling.
Phantom Ganon, the trigger for that in the most recent version of the randomizer doesn't extend up anymore. So you don't need to defeat him before doing Helmrock.
It's actually really cool too, because it means that Helmrock could potentially be before Master Sword in Logic.
Yeah. Yeah, Lago basically figured out how to make this a better game than the original in so many ways.
It's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy how just so many of like the little things like that can make such a huge difference.
Yeah, I just want to say, like, with game developers in general and their relationship with the speedrunning community, often they will patch strats or skips that casual players would literally never do just because they bother them. But in the randomizer, that just hasn't happened. We haven't had any skips or glitches patched at all, and instead we've had so many different convenience tweaks.
Mm-hmm. It's really awesome. It's really a really great a great thing to have. There it is. We do.
All right, that takes away one of the interview questions because we got it answered right here.
Right here, right on screen. I wonder if Tuba had that prepared ahead of time. or what? It said, Jarhead, it said, question, why no mother and child super swim? Answer, because I'm bad at it and I wanted the 10 arrow refill.
Which was exactly the answer we got from the chat.
Yep.
So thank you for that.
We got there together, everyone, as a team.
I mean, I'm still curious, like, whether that was a last-second routing decision or not. Because I guess if you see that you have very few arrows, you may as well do it like that. That makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm. True.
But I hope that wasn't planned from the start.
Almost sure he's planning to do it.
No, there's no way. Look, if you're not going to store the mother and child chest, you do that first. The first check in the game.
Yeah, there's no other reason to not go there.
Except trolling us.
Except.
Maybe Tuba had that planned, even planned out that Q&A thing before the run started, knowing that we would get mad at it.
Tuba knows us too well. He's like got the 5-head 2050 brain strategies going in. And it looks like the play on Tuba's side is going to be grapple hook, light arrows, earth temple. Given that we're going to, I don't know. I think it was a last minute thing because it looked like he was gearing up to get storage in Mother Child there.
We'll just ask him.
That's true. I'm guessing that's what I'm going with. That's my guess, though. I'm going to stand by that.
I agree.
Skylect going for the scenic route around the windmill, taking a look around, taking in the awe of Windfall Island, and just sort of experiencing it.
So before this run started, we did see Tuba doing a super swim from
Bomb Island to Bird's Peak, I believe, right? Or Cabana. Sorry, Cabana. I'm sorry. I think. I don't remember now. I think Tuba setting up here for the Cabana Deed skip. And I guess that now that I realize it does make sense you would want to get grapple first because you need grapple to get in here to open up the Cabana Labyrinth entrance. There we go. Sometimes that can be tricky to aim there and hit that tree and get through.
Literally trying to talk, and then I lost my voice and like went into a coughing fit and muted my mic for the last like 2 minutes. It was amazing.
I wasn't sure.
You covered for me. It's fine.
I wasn't sure. I almost, because I know that happened before one of the times we were commentating, and I think I sent a message in like the commentary. I was like, "Did your like mic die or something, or are you just not talking?" And then you just said, "I'm just not talking." I was like, "Oh, okay."
Well, last time it was just because I was too awkward to talk. This time it's because I had too much Dr. Pepper and not enough water.
And then I wasn't sure if I was like, because it sounded like you were kind of in mid sentence, and then just sort of stopped, and I was
Yeah,
like,
I just couldn't finish a sentence. I just wanted to say Tuba was practicing the super swim, which now, in retrospect, makes perfect sense.
Mhm.
Because this is like the last two checks.
Yeah. Tuba was gearing up for this.
No, you do need... You need grapple for two things. I actually didn't even think about Cabana requiring grapple.
Yeah, true. We were talking about it this whole time, and I didn't think about it either. But I guess we were more speaking in the hypothetical, right? You know, like it kind of makes sense to get it here anyway, just because one, getting into Bird's Peak without the grapple requires either like a bunch of crazy stuff or chest storage. And by crazy stuff, I mean using the pair to control the seagull, and yikes.
Yeah, I mean, I think this route just has no real issues.
Mhm.
Really, the only questionable thing is still God's Lyric, but we'll see what his route is here in Earth Temple.
Mhm.
And the
Tuba
mother and
forget-
child thing, which we talked about.
True.
We'll talk about those in the interview, but everything else has pretty much gone exactly how we hoped he would route it,
Mhm.
and probably even better than what we would have come up with before the race.
True. True. A lot of really good plays here and good routing on Tuba's side. And that's even considering, I know we were kind of talking at the beginning and saying that the seed seemed pretty easy with giving you a lot of really good items sort of early on, but it's still seeing a lot of these really cool routing decisions, and how Tuba sort of put it together is almost like a work of art, really, you know, like just putting all the pieces together, seeing the finished product like that.
Yeah, with a seed that's sort of simpler like this one, there's definitely still room for smaller optimizations in the route.
Mhm.
And they do make a difference, especially with higher level runners.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And this is actually the part that I'm probably the most excited for, is the Earth Temple, because there's so many interesting things you could have done here, and I am curious to see if Tuba thought about doing it without the Earth God's Lyric. Obviously he has it, so I'm imagining he intends to use it. But
Yeah, if Tuba doesn't use Earth God's Lyric, that's an even bigger troll than what we saw before.
we're like, that'll be something I'll say in the interview. Tuba, are you just trying to like piss us all off, or? You know?
I would expect even bigger Q&A text on the screen after that.
He's got like a whole paragraph. Okay, so here's what happened. You know, this all started on January 25th. No, I'm just kidding. But I was thinking to myself that day, if there ever happens to be a spoiler log tournament and I get the chance to skip Earth God's Lyric.
Alright, Sky, why is that chest open? That's not good.
Oh, that's
Definitely wanted to store that.
That's really unfortunate.
And the Cabana deed is on Southern Ferry. That's kind of doable.
Yeah, definitely worse places it could be. I'm wondering if that's what Skylect is doing right now. Checking
Alright,
the
where's
log.
Tuba going? The fact that he doesn't have Medley makes me very concerned. Oh, okay, no, we're going up. Okay, this is good.
Chest behind statues. So there's an
Oh yeah, okay, so you do need to get this, and he's just gonna use the hook shot to get to there.
Yeah, I like this. There is a couple of cool things you can do with this sort of strat here. Is if you're good at bomb dive storage with chest storage, if you store that chest, you can actually hook shot back out to those moblins again. If you are able to pull that off. I don't think that's what Tuba's going to go for. And it looks like it's not. But...
Yeah, that storage would be tricky because you already have chest storage.
Yeah.
So that wouldn't really be a fun time.
Yeah. Chest storage.
Especially if you want to bring medley.
Yeah. Bomb drop storage with chest storage.
Which one's the other chest?
That was the first chest, right?
No, I mean like Poggy's question. So the first chest he doesn't need, the second chest he does.
Yeah, the first one was what, the compass? Something like that.
Look, Jarhead, all I can say is the bot remembers. It knows.
All part of the bot's plan. Going to the right
Tuba
side now.
save warped away a Triforce shard to lose the last group stage race. That would be quite a choke. But he didn't, so that's good.
That's definitely very true. I mean, he's got to take medley, right? I mean,
Yes,
okay.
he definitely will. Wait, what was the point of... What? Oh, okay.
I think what I would have probably done there would have just been to like leave medley and leave and re-enter the room, maybe, because she goes right back by the door after you store the chest.
I think he could have done that like when entering the room, right?
Yeah. If you would have left medley back there, you could have stored the chest.
He could have left medley in the room, left the room, came back instead of bringing her to the door. That's what you're saying, right?
Yeah, or just take her to the door when you leave the room. That was kind of like.
Well, taking her to the door when you leave the room is weird because of the floor masters. Do the floor masters spawn when you store the chest? Did they?
I think so. Yeah, I would have just. I would have probably just left the room.
Yeah, because the floor masters do grab her like all the time.
Gotcha. Yeah, so that would have been the less safe. I think I would have just done the rolled across the room, left, re-entered, and then she was right by the door.
But I did the same thing in Tunerless, and I just left medley, left the room, came back into the room, grabbed her, and then turned around and left again.
Yeah, I think that's probably what I would have done.
Alright, so Sky is back with the Cabana Deed. I'm not sure what happened earlier, because I only noticed his screen once that chest was already open.
Also going to have to realize now he does
Where
not have
is the delivery bag?
Unfortunate.
The delivery bag was in Wind Temple. I guess Sky hasn't been there yet.
Yeah. Time to pull out the route again and route/reroute.
I mean, you can just go to Wind Temple now, right?
True.
There's no reason that wouldn't work.
True.
The obvious downside is that Tuba's already finished 3 dungeons and is in his last, and you're like super far behind.
Yeah, the only thing here is light arrows are. I mean, I'm wondering if maybe that's they routed it because they wanted to have light arrows to fight all the enemies in Wind Temple, but I mean. You could do it without. I mean, obviously you can because Tuba did.
I think Sky messing up the deed skip is a reason why you save to save in a lot of places. just to avoid that.
Yeah. Safety save is never a bad play. Only takes a couple of seconds and rescue from a bad brain moment. Skylect coming to Forsaken Fortress without the Skull Hammer as well.
I think most things you can just recover from without needing a safety save, but anything involving chest storage is really scary. Because once that chest is open, it's gone.
Yeah. Can't close the chest again. It'd be cool if you could, though.
New strat? Yeah, you can just put the item back. That's a really good point. I'm not sure why we haven't done that yet.
I guess we just always forget.
Just press the A button again. I mean, you could like swap the item, Indiana Jones style, as long as they weigh the same.
Exactly. That's actually might be the best play right there. Because then you don't trigger any of like the booby traps or anything. Put a rupee in and pretend it's Greg. There's a lot of good ideas coming out tonight. Very nice Jalhalla for Tuba there too. I'm not sure what Sky's plan is. It looked like defeated. Did Sky open the Phantom Ganon chest?
Cyclos, maybe?
What's on Cyclo?
Wind God Zarya.
Now that's interesting. Ooh. Explosive barrels.
So the last time I commentated a race where a runner was 2-0 in the group stage and had a half-hour lead. Actually, I don't know if that's how big the lead is, but it's pretty big right now. Going into Hyrule, I said that the runner would be guaranteed like a top 5 seed or whatever. I think in Tuba's case, it's a top 11 seed? Top 10, actually? Yeah, top 10 seed by winning this group. Might actually be 9, whatever. We'll figure it out later. But the point is, if Tuba wins this, he's guaranteed to win the group and end up with a pretty good seed in the bracket. And the only way to choke right here is to type in the restream chat, so please don't do it.
Oh my. There is a precedent, so.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't see that as being something that would happen for Tuba. I guess the thing for me, I don't know. I'm always like, whenever I'm racing, because, well, you know this, I don't like to watch what the other person's doing, so I'm always kind of under the feeling that somebody's right on my heels, and I just want to get done, because once I get done, then it's over, and then I don't have to stress anymore.
Yeah, I actually have no idea if Tuba's one of those people who watches the restream or the opponent's stream in general.
That could
It can give
potentially-
you a huge advantage because if you know you have a big lead, you can play safer, or if you're behind, you can go for more risky strats. But obviously, that can put pressure on you as well.
True.
And I
you
know
could,
some runners, they just want to focus on themselves.
right. Because I mean, I guess how well the other player's doing is, obviously out of your control. All you can control is your controller and what you're doing.
Tanjo, I am like 99% sure that Tuba is about to open that warp from Ganon's tower and go save Grandma right now. Why else would you get the boomerang?
Exactly. He's been planning this from the very beginning. That's why boomerang was the first thing that Tuba got. Boy, not having to do the trials. I don't even remember what any of those rooms look like.
They're pretty
Wow.
big.
Pretty big.
Not very fun.
Dang. That second part definitely sounds about right.
I used to do the trials for glitchless.
Ooh. Biggest bit of advice I think I can give to anybody if you're going to play this game and you end up on Ice Ring Island, rolling on the ice is not a good idea. Ever. At least in my experience. That one fun race. Wait, which fun race was it? Oh, the bingo one? Where the trials were on the bingo card? I don't know. Maybe there's some other strategy to like the moving on the ice, but I always find anytime that I roll, it just bad things happen.
The
Roll
most
on.
important things are to build up speed before you leave the ledge. You can pretty easily tell how much speed you have. Your acceleration's a lot lower on the ice, and then the other thing is having a good angle when you leave the ledge, so that you're not parallel to it.
Okay.
Rolling isn't good because it, I'm pretty sure it causes you to roll off the edge if you're mid-roll, but actually I'm not totally sure about that.
Gotcha. Tuba hits the first shot here on the puppet Ganon. That actually sounds like that makes sense. It seems like maybe it has to do with because rolling, kind of like you said there, like changes your direction slightly or something like that. Or at least it can.
Well, I think on the ice what happens when you roll most of the time is it ends up being a dry roll because your acceleration's so low. And then when you dry roll, you just don't have enough speed off the edge.
So you just grab the ledge. That makes sense.
While with walking, you're accelerating.
That makes sense. Really good PG-1 for Tuba also. I mean, never in my life have I seen such a horrible PG-1.
My first bombs early, Wind Waker 90% run. My puppet Ganon first phase took 13 minutes.
Ooh, that's. Ooh.
Yeah.
Dang. Did you submit that run?
Yes. I think so. I don't think I have a video of it anymore, though.
I probably wouldn't have submitted that run. In all honesty.
It was over 6 hours.
I'd be at the stage now if I was Tuba where I'd probably just use the bombs I give it a few shots, especially when I don't have soup. You know, you give them a few, see if you can get a few quick snipes in. Or obviously quick spins work too, but yeah. And then once your magic gets kind of low, because you don't want to be collecting magic from these morphs because it's like horrible. That was really nice.
Clean puppet cannon from Tuba.
Yeah. He used quick spins.
You can use the bait instead. I think that's the play.
That's true. But you probably, when will we see the runner in the tournament grab bait bag and bait? So that way they can,
I mean, we saw it in the race earlier. I don't expect, like, a really high-level runner to ever do it.
is it less frowned upon than bombs in the scheme of strats using propaganda and chat, or?
There's nothing wrong with bombs.
Oh, we might get to see your strategy you've been talking about here.
Iron Boots on Ganondorf is something that was found by SVA back in the good old days when skipping soup was first new in Wind Waker. It's actually really hard because you kind of put yourself in a vulnerable position throughout the whole fight, but it is really fast.
Yeah, the health thing seems pretty... It's kind of freaking me out right now. I'm not even playing.
Look, Jarhead, I need something to talk about. This is the one thing that I have in terms of knowledge that other people often don't.
I mean, it's all stuff I've never heard of, so. Also, GG's to Tubamann. (1:18:52), very respectable time.
So with that, Group J comes to a close. Tuba wins the group, and Dean ends up in second. Both of them will be moving on to the double elimination bracket.
Very exciting. So I believe that's our first official group completion, right? Since
Yes.
we still have the only other one that's close that still has to do a tiebreaker. And we have the man in here now, the Tuba man. Congratulations,
Hello,
Tuba. GG's.
Thank you very much.
All right, so
have-
we saw your message.
Yes.
Was that planned from the start of your route?
Yes. Yes, it was. I was not reading any chats. I promise. I fully, like, I wrote down, I'm writing my route, and I'm sitting there like, oh, I really don't want to do Mother and Child Super Swim. But they're going to make fun of me. So I literally wrote it out in advance. So
Okay,
that I could blink it during Helmrock.
That was our suspicion, but we hoped it wasn't true because you put off Mother and Child for basically no reason. Besides to troll.
Well,
to tease us.
I mean, I could have went there at any time. Like,
Right.
so I guess there was like no method to where and when I put it.
But when you opened that chest, it hurt me a little inside because we were talking about how good of a routing decision it was to leave Mother and Child until Forsaken Fortress, and then you just did that.
Yeah.
We spent the whole run talking about that. Like, this is such a big brain decision. This is so smart. This is like, I was talking of you and your route the entire time. I'm like, I love this. I'm like, this is the fucking play. And
Here's the thing. If I were better at Mother and Child Super Swim, and I really wanted to do that FF route. That FF route is my favorite route of all time. And like I timed it. It's the exact same amount of time as Mother and Child, but I took the 15-second time loss for the extra warp because I didn't want to do it that well. Yeah, I'm just getting all flustered all of a sudden. I didn't want to do it because I'm bad at it, but we'll just leave it at that. But I did realize that was the play, and that's why I left that message, because if I was better at it, I would have done it.
Yeah, that's fair. All right.
Yeah. I mean,
And
other
then-
than that, I felt good about the route, though.
Yeah,
And then
the
we
other
felt-
thing that
Mhm.
we weren't sure about was the Earth God's lyric. I think that was technically skippable because you had fire arrows in Earth Temple.
Yes, but I was not comfortable enough to
Okay.
do it soupless.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
So I just decided to take a little bit of a time to grab it so that I didn't have to worry about grabbing a bottle or worrying about soup refills from redeads.
One
Okay.
thing I would encourage doing, if you haven't done so already, now would be to check out the video that Jarhead posted just before your run started in the race strats.
No shit.
It's
Yeah,
a video
Trog
from
just
Trog.
uploaded a video like a day ago. That's super
It's-
relevant for this seed.
It's called Easier Mirror Shield Earth God's Lyric Skip with Command Melody.
Oh, hey, there it is. Yeah, I'll definitely check that out soon.
It's
Uh,
similar to getting Medley into that room. If you don't do the puzzle in the first room where you kind of drop her through the wall, you can kind of do the same thing on top of the Song Stone and pick
Yeah.
her up.
Because I know what you mean. Because if I would have, if I would have picked her up and dragged her through, then I wouldn't have had to worry about Mirror Shield skip as much magic-wise.
hmm
Yeah, that would have been the play. That would have been the play.
Yeah, but we were curious. We know, like Jarhead said, that video was like just posted, and we weren't sure if anybody. We were wondering, are we going to see this? Is it possible? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, the answer was a big resounding no, because I have no clue how to do it yet. But I'm definitely going to take a look at that, because I think that's going to be important to know, since I'm
It's-
going to start trying to skip soup more.
It's cool, definitely. It's
Did you see? You watched the Jarhead seed, right?
Yes, I did.
Today. Yeah, the fact that both runners got soup in that made me so frustrated.
Yeah, because
Yep.
all of the bottles were so bad in that seed, and they weren't
Yeah.
much better in this one. There was one that was fine on Outset Ferry, but that's still really out of the way and slow. And then the other three were just like, we're not doing this. No way.
I think for Jarhead, I realize we're commentating about a different race, but I'm going to give my thoughts anyway. For Jarhead, it's totally fine to not play optimal, knowing that you are the faster runner, and soup is just going to make things a lot safer. But for Artemis, it doesn't make that much sense to get all of the pearls and get the bottle from that, versus potentially saving minutes and making the race super close by skipping soup.
Mhm.
But you know, I can't control people's decisions. I just want to say Grandma does not deserve that much love.
If there's one seed that I've ever seen be played in my entire history of watching and playing Wind Waker randomizer seeds, that seed was the one to skip Grandma for pretty much anyone.
Mhm. And of course, it was against Jarhead,
Yeah.
the man of all soup.
Yeah. Super soup. Did you have any other thoughts about the seed too? Anything else that you liked or you thought was really cool that you did that maybe we didn't ask about or mention yet, or something you were really proud of with the way you routed? Or
I'm gonna be honest. Skipping Boomerang probably would have been smart, because in the grand scheme of things, it does not save that much time in comparison to going all the way around Cliff, going into Ice Ring, grabbing Furor's Pearl, and then scrolling through the mail. It didn't lose you that much time, so that's why I did it. But I will say that having it was actually really nice this seed for more reasons than I thought of. Because I was originally going to do it to cut down the flower and to have for Mulgara as the meme. But having it in the kill all enemies room so that you could use a boomerang instead of arrows to get the enemies felt a lot better. Even though people clowned it up.
Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't even think about that. I guess one other thing that we talked about during the race is the fact that you got Boomerang let you go to Forbidden Woods earlier, and you didn't need the bow.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah, it definitely sped up Forbidden Woods a lot more because it was either that or hookshot all of the things, and that would have been god awful.
Mhm.
So that it did speed it up in that regard. And there were a lot of things in Forbidden Woods that I wanted before other places, i.e., that bow in there. So that was nice.
Mhm. Definitely.
Oh, one more thing.
Mhm.
The hook shot shot that I did from the beetle ship to coral on Outset, I had just learned that. Like, I was just like messing with some hookshot stuff because hookshot's slowly becoming my favorite item. And I was like, I wonder if there's any way to make the beetle on Outset faster because it spawns you so far out of the way. And then I tried hookshotting to coral. It didn't quite make it. Then I stepped a little bit closer and then it made it. And I was like, so that's something to keep in mind. That's a lot faster than jumping and swimming and going to the boat.
You know you can hookshot Beetle Ship, right? I don't know if you did that.
I did not because hookshot was in beetle.
Oh, right. Okay. Duh.
Yeah, though I will give you this much credit. I did not know that until the Trog race.
Yeah, same. That's when I
yeah.
learned.
Yeah, that's when I learned too. I just saw it and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh. So you just wait a second for Beetle to swim closer to you whenever you respawn on the dock, hookshot it, go into the ship, leave the ship, hookshot to Koro, and make your way out. Not quite as fast if you need to go back on to Outset. It's needing to be a thing for if you're leaving.
Very nice. I'm trying to think. I think something. Oh, go ahead.
One thing I wanted to bring up is the bracket math. So there's 11 groups. Tuba was seeded 10th going into the tournament, but since one of the groups is going to have a winner that only has 2 wins instead of 3, that means Tuba is guaranteed at least a top 9 seed in the final bracket.
Actually, I was wondering, how is that actually going to work? Because I was not 10th seed. I was 13th.
Okay, just kidding. I'm completely wrong.
Yeah, because Dean got a higher seed than me, but then I beat Dean.
Okay, then you're guaranteed top 10, not 9. Sorry.
I kind of figured something like that was going to be the case, but I just wanted to check.
All my math was wrong. Yeah, so you're guaranteed to be seated ahead of the winner of Group E, but not necessarily ahead of anyone else.
Yeah, and that's completely fine.
Guaranteed top 40. That's not bad.
That's true. That is something to be very excited for.
Yeah.
Dean, I think, is guaranteed like a really high seed that isn't top 11. So 12th or something close to that.
That sound about right.
I do have another question now that I think about it. Did you? I know you planned out a message for us about the Mother Child Super Swim. I was expecting one while you were fighting Mulgara as well. Did you consider that, or did you think 2 messages would be too many? Or
yeah, there's a certain amount of memeing that I think is appropriate, and I think one thing is probably enough. So what I did instead of writing out a message was I power equipped Boomerang.
I did notice that.
Yeah, I equipped it like 10 times and then went on my way. just spam equip, just like look guys, it's gonna happen, guys.
Oh, we were ready even before then. It was great.
And what you call it? The noise. Yeah, the noise startled me too. I forgot about the noise. But what you call it? It went pretty well. Not the most optimal with Boomerang I've had, but it's still just, Mulgara with Boomerang, so there's not a whole lot more optimal you can get.
Mhm.
Just the thing is with mashing the Boomerang, it's never going to be quite as good as like frame perfectly hitting the timing it. So you're bound to occasionally when matching take a few more frames, but I mean, hey, that just means I need to get good, right?
True. It's all any of us can do, right? Just get good.
Exactly.
Except for those of us that are already good, then I don't know what they do. Just stay good, maybe? I don't know.
Oh man, had I realized how much of a troll I could have been on Mother and Child, I should have stored it and then warped away. Oh, that would have been perfect.
Yeah, I felt like that was like in my entire life, I've never been teased more than today. Like if you go back and watch this VOD, I just want you to listen to me sit here and talk about how just brilliant the routing was. And I hyped it up so much. And then in a moment it all went away.
I mean, at least I acknowledged that I should have done that in that message.
Mhm.
And it's not even, the thing is, it's not the super swim that I suck at, it's actually landing, like getting onto a certain spot that I need to. Because for
Mhm.
some reason, I never find the spot and I either drown or I land somewhere that's really awkward and I take like an entire minute trying to find a place to get up on.
The spot I go towards is different from what most people do. You know that, like, the normal Wind Waker dive spot that's sort of on the left?
Yes.
I just always super swim to there, because I feel like it's easier, and you can easily clip into there.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I try to go, but I usually end up sometimes just taking what I can get.
Yeah, see, that's exactly it. I'm just, it was getting to the point where like every seed I was screwing it up, and like I would practice it every once in a while, but it just wasn't working out that well. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna take this other strat and just work with it there. Because as I said, I had timed it and put it up against Jarhead's timing videos, and I got a minute 30 from from gaining control on the warp to entering Helmarock, and that's about the same amount of time as if you get first try storage on both things, do the super swim and climb up. So yeah, the northwest spot. Oh wait, no, you're talking about the other thing. I'm thinking of the wind because it's set northwest. Well, I guess no, it's actually set northeast, but the compass is northwest. Also, I'm noticing that Skylect also has 4 hearts. Where did he get the 4th heart from?
I wish I was paying that much attention.
I don't remember.
See, okay, so
Oh,
that was okay.
Accidentally opening the ice ring chest, or maybe Skylect.
Okay. So, whenever I was on my way to Wind Temple, I was at the same amount of hearts that Skylect is at right now, and I'm just sitting there like, I've got to go all the way through to the other room before I get a save warp in. I'm a little nervous, so I started sailing to Wind Temple, and I'm like, what do I do? And I'm just like, wait, I have the spoiler log tabbed, and I just pulled it up and just Control F ice ring while I was sailing, and I just see heart container, and I'm like, oh, let's go. That works. It's not hardly a time loss, and it makes things safer for Ganon. Rip those Iron Boot strats, by the way. Those were awful. Iron Boot strats could be optimal, just not the way I did it.
I'm kind of freaking out watching Skylect do this room.
Yeah.
I'm like having mini panic attacks here while we're all talking, and I think the Wizrub's even still alive. I don't even know.
Tuba, do you watch the restream or Sky stream at all during
No.
that race or in general?
I really don't like watching other people's streams during it. It's the last time that I did that was against Tanjo, and it really psyched me out. because he was ahead of me, even if it was by like seconds, that really messed with me. So I just have decided to stop watching people so that I don't lose all sanity.
Fair enough.
I understand that completely, like on a spiritual level.
Yeah, honestly, the more I have gotten out of my own head, the better I play, and I think that's really important for me.
That makes sense. You got to find the strat that works for you. It's like we always say, the best rando strat.
Is the one you're comfortable with.
Yep.
Mother Child Super Swim? Nah.
Well, this is an instance where that's actually incorrect then, but no.
Oh man, so good. But the thing is, with Iron Boots, we've seen. Actually, Woofer, was it you that shared it in the Discord? I can't remember.
What did I share?
The Ganon strat?
The Ganon Iron Boot strats.
Oh,
It was either
maybe.
you or Azer. I can't remember. But
They're
there's a video
old.
that. Yeah, it's very, very old. It's a video that SVA did.
Yeah, I brought that up.
Yeah. So, like, if you don't have soup and you have Iron Boots, like, if you can get that, especially the risky strat, it's gonna be so good. Like, the problem is I'm just not. Each time I practice it, it's very 50-50. It's either I get it or I very much don't. And
I'm wondering if
that was
Sky
a good way to fail
realizes
it too.
that the
You need to
morph.
kill the Morth. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the Morth. I think you can just walk out of the room and re-enter, right?
Maybe.
It might respawn
Yes.
the top guy, but
So there used to be a glitch in vanilla in this room where you needed to like look at the target of the bokoblin that you killed, but Lago actually fixed that, so it shouldn't be coming up in the randomizer.
Oh, there we go.
there we go. Morth's gone. Crab Rave.
Look, it's in the patch notes, but I know it. I think Elijah had the issue at least once. I'm assuming other people did too.
The thing is, for me, I don't pay enough attention to know if it was actually still like that glitch or whatever you want to call it, or if it was just that I just missed a morph and didn't realize it or something. So. But it's possible. No big key, it looks like, for Skylect as well now.
Forgot to grab middle hub. That's a shame.
If someone has a video of that room and that glitch still happening, it would actually be really useful to share that with Lago, I think.
I think we can maybe get either Pogi or Kamali's father on that.
What? Is that like a reference within a reference? The chieftain. Is there like a, I think there, what, is there a shard in here? I'm pretty sure I remember you doing this room too, but I can't remember what.
Yeah,
there's a
there's
shard.
yeah, shard in the break all.
I see.
I did feel really good about the routing for this seed overall. Like, everything seemed to flow fine. A few more warps than I would like, but it worked out in the end.
I think it was nice because the seed sort of gave you a lot of options at the beginning. There was a lot of the really good items were pretty early, and that gave you the opportunity to do a lot of things in sort of almost whatever order you wanted.
Yeah, for sure. Well, to a point.
True.
You had to wait on FF until you got done with Forbidden Woods and Wind Temple.
Yeah.
True.
Other
True.
than that, you could
Well,
really
also
do
Earth
it.
Temple, you needed a bunch of stuff for that too.
You
Yeah,
did need a bunch of stuff for Earth Temple. If you got a Picto, you could have done it earlier, but why in the hell would you get a Picto?
Yeah.
So,
One thing we talked about during the race is the smartest thing about your route was realizing that even though the Tingle statues are all accessible from the start, you don't need to get them early because the grappling hook only gives you the, what was it?
The light arrows or
Yeah,
the pro. and
Yeah, so
easy
the-
access into Earth Temple.
Right, and you can
Yeah.
just do Earth Temple at the very end, so you can route those Tingle statues in whenever you want.
That was also the first time that I ever did a super swim from Cabana to boating course, not boating course to Birdspeak Rock. I liked that choice. The drowning part was a little scuffed, but at least I spawned on the island. So
Well, when I saw you drown, I was confident that you would spawn on the island.
yeah, I had so I actually practiced that swim a couple times right before the race started, and I practiced it 4 times. I got on the island all 4 times. I drowned 3 out of 4, but hey, we made it.
We did see you practicing a little bit, and then at the end was sort of when we realized, oh, this is sort of like the last play here.
Yeah, it was
The
all
final.
foreshadowing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was just, I wanted to have that practiced because it was the first time really that I had done it. Everything else was like, it's fine.
Yeah. Earth Temple had some really cool stuff in it too. It hookshotting up to the chest behind the 3 statues.
Yes. And thank God that Jar and Artemis's seed had that as well. Because every single time that I'd been doing that as of recent, I would literally actually jump slash up the 2 things and then hookshot onto it.
Mhm.
But like with the enemies, L targeting becomes a fucking nightmare.
Yeah.
So that would take a long time. But seeing that you could just do it from the bottom was just like, oh, I'm stupid. Let's go.
Right. I understand where you're coming from with that. And there was something that we asked, or that now I remember another thing that we were thinking about. The in Earth Temple on the right side, the decision to walk medley all the way back to the door first.
Yes.
We weren't sure if you, because I don't know if it's faster or not, but I know the strat we were sort of talking about was just storing the chest and leaving and re-entering the room to grab medley because she'd go back by the door.
See, there are strats that Tuba has the brain for. And then there are times that the brain just does not work with Tuba. I was just sitting there thinking, oh no, if Medley's right there, she's going to get grabbed by a floor master. I'll just put her by the door, not even remembering the fact that if you leave and re-enter, she'll be right there.
Yeah, I mean it's okay because I had like the dumbass moment of going, oh, why not just? I mean, he could have just took her back to the door when he left the room, and everyone's like, dude, the floor masters, and I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah, the whole reason why I walked her back was just because of the floor masters, but it probably would have been the play to leave and re-enter. I'll be real.
Yeah, I mean you have to go through the door twice. I guess it's only. Yeah, I guess it would be two extra times. But I was thinking like, oh man, does Tuba do the hook shot back out of that room thing too? But that's kind of really dumb. I don't even know if it'd be useful in this one, but I kind of still want to see somebody try it once.
Oh, the lose storage and then get, or not even have to lose storage, I guess, but like get storage behind the statues and push that back out. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I've seen Jarhead do that. It looks really cool.
Oh man, Skylect is not having a good time in this Wind Temple.
Yeah, there was a couple of unfortunate complications for Skylect, one of which being accidentally opening up the chest to do the Cabana Deed skip with. Yeah, that was the biggest sort of, at least, unfortunate thing that we saw at least earlier on. And then they went and they're like, oh, the Cabana Deed was at like, was it 7? So Skylect just went, got it, and then got back and realized, oh wait, I don't have the delivery bag.
Yep.
And that was, yeah, it was a little bit of a bummer.
Yeah, there were a lot of things in this seed that were just like placed very rudely.
Mm-hmm.
Delivery bag was like the main one that I was not happy about. The bow in Forbidden Woods Big Key was not my favorite, though I dealt with it fairly fine.
Mm-hmm.
There were just a lot of like power bracelets is another one I hated. There were just a lot of like items placed within the bad checks of the dungeons that just weren't as fun.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, having to do both the mini boss and to kill all the enemies in Wind Temple is
Yes.
super, super lame.
And then the mini boss and Forbidden Woods Big Key was another fun one.
Mhm.
Other two dungeons were fine though, so that's cool.
Really inconvenient. Those two Forbidden Wood placements. Those are like the two worst places for like anything to be in Forbidden Woods.
Mm-hmm. For sure. And I think you could have made an argument to get the small key and not do the small key skip. But I think it would have been slightly slower to go up, get the small key, and then take the bulbs all the way up.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was faster to do small key skip for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But I also was a little sad that I out of impulse, I'm like, no, I need to go fast. But Greg was right there. He was right there. He was almost in my hands. I almost held him in my arms.
Skylect did end up getting the small key in Forbidden Woods, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think you would lose a lot of time for it. I'll be real. Especially if you did the storage strat, storing the pearl down in the hollow mouth and then walking up.
Why would you not just store the first chest though?
Let me rephrase exactly what I was saying.
No, because the funny thing is Skylect opened the first chest for no good reason and then ended up storing the bottom chest, and it just confused us.
Yeah.
Because he ended up with all 3 pearls, which is like, okay.
Yeah.
I don't think that was the plan, though.
Yeah, I saw that on their tracker, and I'm like, wait, what was behind Tower of the Gods? And
it just happened to be those 2 Forbidden Woods chests, so it wasn't like getting pearls for no reason, but
yeah,
it was still kind of weird not storing the first chest. But I'm assuming he just forgot or something.
Yeah, I think that sounds about right. Yeah, I see. Storing the first chest is actually still very new to me. I did not know it was a thing until I watched Tanjo do it randomly, and it's not come up in any of my seeds.
Mm-hmm.
So odds are, the first time that it comes up where it's actually like useful, I'm probably gonna forget. But the more we talk about it, maybe the more it'll solidify in my brain.
Alright, so on a totally unrelated note, today we had 5 races, and apparently tomorrow we're going to have another 5 races, because 2 people just scheduled races within the last hour or so. One of those people is Linkus, who somehow scheduled a race that starts 2 hours after the race against Elijah. I don't know how that's going to work. I'm assuming it's just back-to-back, but there's no way that's going to start on time. So, might want to figure that out.
Yeah. I mean, because if our gameplay starts at 1:50 tomorrow,
Linkus is not going to finish in 70 minutes.
No.
Yeah.
Plus, you probably want a break after you finish. At least a little bit.
Before you have to reanalyze an entire another spoiler log.
Yeah, honestly, that's the big thing. Getting your mind refreshed for another spoiler.
Yeah.
Not
Because you have to sort of like, oh yeah, you got to delete it all out. You got to, or when you're like small brain like me, it's easy because you just don't even remember anything after like 5 seconds.
True, I feel that. Me too.
Like I don't even remember where like I don't even remember where anything was in this seed now. I don't even know.
I'm going to have the pain of remembering the longer I watch Sky or the restream, and then any other time it's just going to be gone.
Like try and quiz me on an item for this seed. Anyone, I won't even have any idea.
Mm-hmm.
Although I suppose I could just be saying that, so there's not really any way to prove it. So many hearts, so little magic.
Oh man. Skylect has really been struggling with magic. More than anything in here.
Mhm. There's some magic though.
Yeah, take what you can get.
Yeah, a little bit. Little bits of magic here and there. Definitely enough to get down there now. This guy's gonna be able to go get to Mulgara.
Ooh, snap. We just got raided and I'm about to end stream. I feel like such a horrible person right now. Thank you, their Goat Buster, for the raid of 7. Unfortunately, for the sake of our volunteers, since it's early in time zones that are not mine, we are going to be ending this stream. So, so yeah, just to I want to give you guys a quick recap on what Woofer just said. Just for you guys to be aware of what times can you check out what's going on for tomorrow. Tomorrow we actually are, well, the whole weekend we took over CSR, and I think we're still continuing to take over CSR almost completely. So tomorrow for the Wind Waker, you can expect Lenkus versus Original Elijah as early as 1 p.m. That's apparently confirmed for CSR, so poggers. There's a lot of other races happening at 3 p.m. Stella Cat versus Crane, Sir Cliff versus Linkus 7 at 3 p.m. also. If it happens, right, because it's gonna be a little confusing. Neat versus Frostbite and Zombie God versus me. Hey, whoops. Last minute schedule. I do not regret it.
Wow,
So-
self-plug. Shameless.
Yeah, I'm a horrible. As I said, I am a horrible person. So, if there's any other thing commentators, runner would like to say before we go on to raid Skylect.
Not just thanks to everybody that hung out. I had a lot of fun with all you guys tonight. Thanks for Pogi for doing the restream. Thanks to our trackers and my co-commentator Wolfer. Thank you for being with us. And yeah, GG's guys.
GG's.
GG's.
All right, before we go, just a small shout out. Well, actually, a big shout out to Artemis Smith, who actually set up this. But like he's been back to back doing stuff all weekend, so he just decided to hand it over to me. So yeah, huge shout out to them, and I hope everybody has a great night. We'll see you.